We're loving all your responses. We'd love to chat with you live on the air. I am so excited because this was my all-time favorite pieces. We just got it back in stock, and that is very unique. And we were talking about Jay's pieces. They're rare finds, they're highly collectible, and this is actually sapphire, gorgeous sapphire, natural sapphire, pink, hundreds of carats of pink sapphire, making up this breathtaking necklace that we are event pricing today at $219.90. We're running some of the reviews at the bottom of the screen. Everybody, when you open up that package and you see the sparkle, the color, the violets, the iridescence, the beautiful watermelons, fuchsias, soft pinks, I mean, mauves, every rose, every color you can imagine just gleaming. I say this, Jay, it looks to me like 100 carats of pink diamonds. It really does.
Well, here's the thing about this material. Okay, here again, this comes out of Mozambique. I only got in the sapphire business about, I guess it's going on 3 years now. Before that, I never really touched them. And what's really amazing about what we do, and I think one of the interesting things is we made one buy in sapphire. We met one miner. I'd always shied away from it, but I wanted to do something new and different. And I always shied away because I never had the contacts to where I could get the kind of value that I needed. I have to buy the rough right to be able to do it. And when you have something like this, just so you know, pink sapphire is one of the most sought after natural colors that there are. Okay, a lot of the pinks a lot of the blues you see are treated some way. Okay, they're usually it's a heat treatment process that they use to get that particular color. This is natural material, comes out of Mozambique. It's not like there's thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds of this material. It's also, funny enough, not mined just from one mine. This particular rough material came from a series of miners who have claims in the same area. We have a person that we work with who's our consolidator, and what he does is he goes and buys from all those individual miners. None of them actually produce enough material that you would have enough material to actually do a project like this and be able to offer something this big. Now, that being said is this, okay, this by far is one of the most popular colors of natural sapphire that we've ever done. One of the most popular colors.
Intense.
It is totally intense. It is the rarest color. Usually in this natural color like this, this necklace, honest to goodness, go to any jewelry store and see if they have pink sapphire, and see what they just sell a little ring for.
If you can find something like that. I mean, truly.
And then that is where that we shine, I believe. But a lot of effort goes into doing this. It's very rare that we do a reorder, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I want to show this.
Very, very small, probably less than 5% of all designs that we do are ever reordered, or that we can either do a reorder or that we will do a reorder. This is something that so many people missed out on it. We brought it on. This is about the third time we brought it on.
We have 500. That's it.
Now, okay, that being said, okay, and what Lynn's alluding to here, it's not like, could this ever be a Today Special?
No.
Okay, yeah, there you go. See, that's the answer. See, I didn't even give the option. No. I said no. And the thing is, do you know, we struggle just to even to bring what we brought in. We struggled with getting enough rough material to do that. You're starting off with this, it's about 2.5 to 3 pounds of natural sapphires. Have you ever felt sapphire in the natural rough? Feel how heavy this is.
Yeah. That's why I said I'd love to have the carat weight off of the ears.
And you can tell why. Do you see how?
Yeah.
This little piece is very dense. They're very, very heavy. They're very, very tight. And that is what, this is what it's cut from. That is the natural rough. So if you saw that, you would just go, really? You wouldn't even think about it. But then when you take that, cut it from the natural rough, the natural crystals. Another thing with sapphires, you can see, and that's why I bring the rough, these aren't huge pieces, okay? They're very, very, very small crystals that we cut from. So to be able to cut things that are this big, it's almost impossible to get any kind of bulk or any kind of quantity.
I'm just thrilled we have it back, and that consistency and that amazing color.